now, let's go back a couple of weeks. Talladega. Kyle Busch among those involved in that last lap crash during Truck Series competition. When you partner the speed with the fact there was no safer barrier in that portion of the track, it's easy to understand why that hit took Kyle's breath away. Kyle was fine. However, it's hits like that one that have prompted NASCAR to implement new safety precautions for 2014. Prior to the start of next season, drivers will be required to undergo a baseline concussion test. So there will be a measuring stick on if a driver is concussed, and if so, how severe. This announcement came last week. It had drivers talking at Martinsville.
I think it's good. I mean, I think there's probably a lot of people out there that wouldn't want to take themselves out of the car, especially towards the end of the year and you're racing for points and that type of thing, which is human nature. So I'm sure everybody's a little apprehensive and nervous about it because they haven't done it before. I actually took a baseline test a long time ago when NASCAR was going to implement it 8 or 9 years ago or something like that, and never did it. So, I mean, I think it's all fun.
You know, excited to see progression. If it was left optional, which it has been, and I'm not sure many guys, including myself, have been through for the baseline test. So happy to have it, and it's just a piece of the puzzle. This is most beneficial if everybody's wondering, you know, did you get a concussion or not? So it's another great tool to help evaluate the drivers and help for a speedy recovery and then get ready back on track. So it's a good thing.
I don't want to call it a negative, but at this point I haven't seen where that's going to, you know, be a positive for the sport. Doctors don't understand our sport. They never have, never will. Doctors aren't risk takers. We are. That's what makes our sport what it is. And when you get doctors involved, you know, you water down our sport. So I'm trying to be open-minded to the possibility that they can help us, but, you know, past experience says no.
The reason I'm a fan of it is there's been a lot of research done. They didn't rush into this, you know, taking their time and really looking at it and understanding exactly what it means rather than just jumping at it. The big concern for everybody is that someone else is going to be making the decision whether or not you should race, and that concerns everybody. On the other hand, there are experts, and there's nothing wrong with somebody looking out for your best interest.
We were told last year that this would probably be mandatory in 14, so it was no real surprise. I think it's a great move by NASCAR. Concussions are like snowflakes. They're all different, and the way you're injured and how your symptoms are different from every person. Everybody reacts differently to it. And this information that they're getting from a baseline test and then the retest of an individual like myself, it helps other individuals. It's a pretty big deal. I think it's a great move, and I'm sure NASCAR's going to be better off for it.
USA Today's Nate Ryan now joins the conversation on NASCAR Race Hub, but I want to begin with you on this topic, Nate. Inform everybody what is a concussion baseline test.
Right. Basically, the impact testing, I guess what you could look at it as a barometer for the brain is essentially what it is. And what they'll do is they'll bring all the drivers in the Sprint Cup Series before the 2014 season. They'll be tested on reaction time, on their cognitive abilities, and then doctors will have some data, a baseline, in which they can compare that against if a driver gets in a crash and there's concerns about if they took a knock on their head and perhaps might have a brain injury. They can compare what their numbers are from testing after the crash versus what they were when they had a healthy brain in the preseason.